Most fossils are silent. A bone in stone, a footprint in mud, a tooth buried in the ground. But some fossils do something different. They tell a story, a predator and prey locked in battle, a dinosaur preserved like a sleeping statue, a fish with hints of wrists, a bird-like dinosaur with feathers, a tar pit filled with Ice Age giants. These discoveries did more than reveal extinct animals. They changed how we understand life on Earth. Today, we're uncovering the fossil discoveries that changed prehistory forever. The Fighting Dinosaurs, a battle frozen in time. Some fossils show us what an animal looked like, but one fossil may show us what happened in its final moments. Known as the Fighting Dinosaurs, this famous fossil preserves a velociraptor and a protoceratops tangled together in stone. The scene is incredible. The velociraptor appears locked against the larger protoceratops, while the protoceratops seems to have caught part of the predator in its powerful beak. It looks less like a fossil and more like a crime scene from the Cretaceous. Scientists believe the animals may have been buried suddenly, possibly by collapsing sand or a violent sandstorm-like event. What makes this fossil so powerful is not just the animals themselves, it is the action. For a moment, the ancient world feels alive again. A predator attacked. A prey animal fought back, and both were sealed into history. Archaeopteryx, the fossil that connected dinosaurs and birds. When the first Archaeopteryx fossils were discovered, they caused a sensation. Here was an animal with feathers and wings, but also teeth, claws, and a long, bony tail. It looked like a bird, but it also looked like a dinosaur. Archaeopteryx lived around 150 million years ago during the late Jurassic period. Its fossils helped show that birds did not simply appear from nowhere. They were connected to dinosaurs. This discovery became one of the most famous examples of a transitional fossil, a creature with features from two worlds. It was not exactly like a modern bird. It was not exactly like the dinosaurs people imagined. It was something in between, a glimpse of evolution in motion. And because its feathers were preserved in stone, Archaeopteryx gave paleontologists something extraordinary. Not just bones, but evidence of how flight, feathers, and dinosaurs were connected. Tiktaalik, the fish that looked toward land. Some fossils change one creature's story. Others change the story of entire groups of animals. Tiktaalik is one of those fossils. Discovered in the Canadian Arctic, Tiktaalik lived around 375 million years ago. At first glance, it looked like a fish. It had scales. It had fins. It lived in water. But when scientists looked closer, they found something surprising. Tiktaalik had features that seemed to sit between fish and early four-limbed animals. Its fins contained bones arranged in a way that hinted at wrists. Its head and neck were different from most fish. Its body seemed suited for shallow water, where pushing against the bottom may have mattered. Tiktaalik did not simply walk out of the ocean. That would be too simple. But it helped reveal a major transition in life's history, the slow movement from water toward land. It was not the end of the story. It was one of the missing pages. The Burgess Shale, the alien ocean in stone. Sometimes one fossil changes everything, but sometimes an entire fossil site does. The Burgess Shale is one of the most important fossil sites ever found. It preserves animals from the Cambrian period, more than 500 million years ago, when complex animal life was rapidly diversifying, and the creatures inside it are strange. Some look like armored worms. Some look like swimming spikes. Some look like creatures designed by a dream. The Burgess Shale is important because it preserved soft-bodied animals that usually vanish before they can fossilize. Most fossils are bones, shells, or teeth, but the Burgess Shale captured details of bodies that should have disappeared. Because of that, it opened a window into one of Earth's earliest complex ecosystems. It showed that ancient life was not simple. It was experimental, it was crowded, and it was far stranger than anyone expected. Dinosaur eggs and nests. Proof of ancient family life. For a long time, dinosaurs were imagined as huge, cold, lonely reptiles. But fossil eggs and nests changed that picture. Dinosaur eggs showed that these animals reproduced in ways that could be studied directly. Nests revealed that some dinosaurs gathered in breeding colonies, and some fossil sites suggested that certain dinosaurs may have cared for their young, guarded nesting areas or returned to the same places to reproduce. This changed the emotional image of dinosaurs. They were not just monsters. They were animals with life cycles. They hatched, they grew, they competed. They may have protected their young, A fossil egg is small compared to a giant skeleton, but its meaning is huge. Inside those eggs was the next generation of the ancient world. Borealopelta. The dinosaur mummy. Some fossils preserve bones. Borealopelta preserved something much closer to a body. This armored dinosaur was so incredibly preserved that it has been called a dinosaur mummy. Its armor, skin impressions, and body shape were preserved in stunning detail. Instead of only seeing a skeleton, scientists could study the outer form of the animal. That is rare, extremely rare. Borealopelta lived during the early Cretaceous. After it died, its body was carried out to sea, sank, and was buried in fine sediment. That unusual chain of events helped preserve it in 3 dimensions. The result looks almost impossible. Not just bones, not just scattered fragments, a dinosaur that appears to be sleeping in stone. For viewers, Borealopelta is shocking because it closes the gap between fossil and living animal. It makes the prehistoric world feel real. Brea Tar Pits, the Ice Age trap. In the middle of Los Angeles, there is a fossil site that feels like a portal into the Ice Age. The Brea Tar Pits preserved countless remains of Ice Age animals in sticky asphalt. Mammoths, dire wolves, saber-toothed cats, giant ground sloths, ancient horses, birds, insects, plants, and tiny clues from an entire ecosystem. The trap was simple and brutal. Animals became stuck in the asphalt. Predators and scavengers came toward the trapped animals. Then they became trapped too. Over thousands of years, the site became a massive record of Ice Age life. What makes La Brea so important is not just the famous animals. It is the amount of evidence. The tar pits preserve pieces of an entire world. Predators, prey, plants, climate clues, tiny fossils that help reconstruct the environment. It is not one discovery. It is a fossil archive still being studied today. Lucy, the fossil that changed human origins. Not every shocking fossil is a monster. Some are powerful because they tell us something about ourselves. In 1974, fossils of a small, ancient human relative were discovered in Ethiopia. The skeleton became known as Lucy. Lucy belonged to Australopithecus afarensis, a species that lived millions of years ago. Her fossil remains were not complete, but they preserved enough of the body to change the way scientists understood early human evolution. One of the biggest lessons from Lucy was that walking upright came before large human-like brains. That changed the story. It showed that our ancestors were already moving on 2 legs while still having small brains and bodies very different from ours. Lucy was not human, but she was part of the deeper human family story, a small skeleton in ancient rock that helped reveal where we came from. The first T-Rex discoveries. The king gets a name. Today, Tyrannosaurus rex is one of the most famous extinct animals on Earth. But that fame began with fossil discoveries. When T-Rex was first described in the early 1900s, it changed the public image of dinosaurs. Here was a predator built like a living weapon, a massive skull, bone-crushing teeth, powerful legs, tiny arms that became instantly recognizable. T-Rex was not the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever discovered, but it became the symbol of prehistoric power. Its fossils helped turn dinosaurs from museum curiosities into cultural icons. Every new T-Rex specimen has added more to the story. How it grew, how it hunted, how it may have sensed the world, and how powerful its bite may have been. Sometimes a fossil discovery changes science. Sometimes it changes imagination. T-Rex did both. Fossils are more than old bones. They are evidence. They are clues. They are moments from vanished worlds that somehow survived deep time. The Fighting Dinosaurs captured a struggle. Archaeopteryx revealed a bridge between dinosaurs and birds. Tiktaalik helped explain the move toward land. The Burgess Shale showed an alien ocean of early life. Dinosaur eggs revealed ancient beginnings. Borealopelta preserved a body in shocking detail. La Brea trapped an entire Ice Age ecosystem. Lucy changed the story of human origins, and T-Rex became the fossil king of public imagination. Each discovery opened a door, and behind each door was a world we thought was lost forever. The past is far stranger than we think, and this is only one chapter. Subscribe to see what's coming next.